Now that we've defined the differences between standard feature definitions and drainage and utility feature definitions, it's important to understand the differences between the utility properties and the element properties and how they interact. If we want to update some hydraulic characteristics or inlet characteristics, for example, we want to update the grade elevation, it should be synchronized between the feature definition and the utility properties. So if we go ahead and adjust this, let's say we want to adjust it to 32 feet. We should see it update on the feature definition property as well as in the 3D view. You may have noticed that it updated to the elevation that I've updated it to. That'll change it back. These should be synchronized, however, there has been some instability and Bentley will continue to update the software and hopefully there's no issues in the future. It should be noted that not all the utility properties are respective to the feature definition properties, in that some of the ways you may hydraulically model it may not be represented in the feature definition itself, such as head loss method, benching method, the different catalogs. If you want to model a gutter section, it may be different than what's actually defined in the feature definitions within your model. You may want to adjust the invert here, or you may want to adjust the invert somewhere else. You may want to adjust in the utility properties, and it should be syncing up. There are some restrictions where it won't let you do a box that's too small, such as if I wanted to make it only a foot deep, it'll restrict that. There are some limitations on there. However, if you modify things such as the Manning's end, longitudinal slope, road slope within the hydraulic analysis utility properties, it won't affect your feature definitions throughout the rest of your model. These things are somewhat independent and gives you flexibility to model it a certain way even if your roadway model, for example, isn't up to date. It's important to know that some of these things can be ruled to the model. And what I mean by that is you can place a grate and it will be attached to a terrain, so your grate is flush with the top of that terrain, or it can grab the longitudinal or cross slope from the terrain model. There can be some inaccuracies on that, of course, so you want to keep that in mind. Also, if it's been ruled to a terrain, if there's updates that can lead to instabilities as well, it'll continuously, dynamically update to the terrain if it's ruled that way, as well as the slopes. And so you can see if there's issues with your terrain when it's updated, or if it's delinked in some way, there can be issues where your hydraulic analysis may be inaccurate, or your feature definition has just updated the ground elevation incorrectly, and these things need to be accounted for. So in some cases you may not want to rule it to a terrain, and I'll show you how to attach it to a terrain or alignment or other roadway feature definition.